What if the real reason you feel your energy fading isn't age at all, but a silent change happening inside your body that no one ever warned you about? Think about that for a moment. Because if you're a man over 50, you've probably felt it. The slow shift in strength, the drop in stamina, the way your confidence doesn't feel as solid as it once did. You drink water, you try to stay active, you do everything you were told to do, yet something still feels off. And deep down, you wonder whether this is simply the new normal, but it doesn't have to be. Many men reach a point where they start accepting decline as fate. They shrug off low energy, they downplay weaker circulation, they avoid talking about changes in performance or desire because it feels uncomfortable, or worse, embarrassing. But inside, it weighs on them. It affects how they show up emotionally, how patient they are, how connected they feel in their relationships. When a man feels his strength slipping, it's not just a physical shift. It hits his confidence, his identity, and his sense of being fully alive. You deserve to know the truth. So many of these changes come from one thing most men have never heard about: declining nitric oxide. This tiny molecule controls blood flow, energy, vitality, and the feeling of being deeply present in your own body. As you age, your nitric oxide naturally drops, and this affects everything. You feel slower, you feel less motivated, your drive softens, your mood shifts. And because no one explains what's happening, you're left blaming yourself or blaming age. But blaming age steals possibility. Understanding the real cause gives you back control. And that's why this message matters, because you're not just getting older. Your body is asking for support. It's signaling that something fixable needs attention. And when you give your body what it's missing, your energy rises, your circulation improves, and your confidence begins to return in a natural, grounded way. This isn't about chasing youth, it's about reclaiming vitality, presence, and connection, especially in your intimate life. Every man deserves to feel strong and capable. Every man deserves to feel wanted, confident, and emotionally engaged. And your partner feels the difference too. When you show up with more energy, more warmth, and more stability, the relationship becomes softer, closer, and more alive. This is why you should stay right here with me, because once you understand what's happening, and once you learn the simple step you can start today, you'll feel hope again. Real hope. Not hype, not complicated routines, just a small shift that supports your body the way it was designed to function. Imagine waking up with more focus. Imagine feeling light in your chest instead of weighed down. Imagine being able to show affection without hesitation and feeling your partner respond because they can sense your confidence returning. That emotional reward alone can change the tone of your entire relationship. When a man feels strong inside, he becomes more open, more patient, more connected, and that connection builds trust, desire, and closeness. You don't have to struggle in silence. You don't have to pretend everything is fine. You don't have to accept slow decline as a life sentence. There is a path back to feeling alive in your body and secure in your relationship. And it starts with understanding how one small natural change, something you can add to your water every single day, can support your nitric oxide levels and help you rebuild the strength you thought you were losing. Stay with me because the next steps can shift everything. You're not too late, you're not too old, and you're not alone. You're just missing one piece, and I'm going to show you what it is. You've probably been told your whole life that staying hydrated is the key to feeling strong, energized, and healthy. And while hydration matters, many men over 50 discover something frustrating. Even when they drink plenty of water, the fatigue, the sluggish circulation, and the hesitation in their intimate life still show up. This creates confusion and doubt. You do what you're supposed to do, yet you don't feel the results you hoped for. That gap between effort and outcome can quietly wear down your confidence. It makes you question your body, and over time, it can even make you question your worth. But the truth is simple. Your body needs more than plain water to function at its best, especially as you age. The cells that once produced nitric oxide with ease don't respond the same way anymore. It's not your fault, and it's not a failure. It's a biological shift every man goes through. When those nitric oxide levels dip, circulation naturally becomes less efficient, and that affects everything from your daily energy to your emotional presence. You drink water, hoping it will bring you back to life, but water alone can't activate the pathways that age has slowed down. And when you don't understand what's missing, frustration starts to build. You may feel yourself withdrawing, speaking less, engaging less, because deep down something feels off inside you. This emotional weight is rarely discussed, but every man feels it at some point. When your body doesn't respond the way it used to, your mind starts creating stories. Stories like, maybe I'm just getting old, or maybe this is what the rest of my life will look like, or even, maybe my partner deserves more than what I can give right now. These thoughts are painful, but they come from a place of caring. They come from wanting to show up fully, wanting to be strong, connected, present, and capable. And that desire is the very reason you're here, listening and open to change. That desire is proof that you haven't given up. You're looking for answers because you still want more from your life and your relationship. The truth is, your body isn't asking for something extreme. It's asking for support that matches the stage of life you're in. Hydration is good, but it's incomplete. Your system needs nutrients that help the blood vessels relax, expand, and deliver oxygen efficiently again. When circulation improves, you feel the difference. Your energy feels smoother. Your mind feels clearer. Your mood feels more stable. Your patience increases. You feel present instead of disconnected. And when these inner shifts happen, your partner feels them too. They notice the way you look at them. They sense the warmth returning in your voice. They feel the physical closeness becoming easier, more natural, more genuine. Men rarely talk about this, but the emotional impact of declining vitality can be stronger than the physical one. It affects how you see yourself. It affects how you handle stress. It affects how you communicate. And because many men try to hide the discomfort, the distance grows silently. But you don't have to hide. You don't have to pretend water alone is doing enough. You don't have to accept the feeling of being stuck inside a body that doesn't reflect the man you know you are. What you truly need is clarity. Clarity that your body isn't broken. Clarity that there's a natural way to support healthy nitric oxide levels. Clarity that the changes you feel have an explanation, and more importantly, a solution you can begin today. When you understand this, you stop blaming yourself. You stop fearing the future. You stop shrinking emotionally. You start stepping back into yourself with strength and certainty. Your partner doesn't want perfection from you. They want presence. They want connection. They want the version of you who feels alive, steady, and confident. And that version of you is still here. He just needs the right support to rise again. When you finally understand what your body has been missing, everything starts to make sense. You realize the fatigue isn't weakness. The slower circulation isn't failure. The hesitation in intimate moments isn't a loss of masculinity. It's simply your body signaling that it needs stronger support than plain water can offer. And the most powerful natural support many men overlook is something incredibly simple: adding nutrients that help your body create nitric oxide again. One of the most effective sources is beetroot powder. It's rich in natural nitrates that your body can turn into nitric oxide, helping your blood vessels relax and open so circulation becomes smoother and more reliable. What makes this so important isn't just the physical effect. It's the emotional shift that follows when your body responds in a healthier, more stable way. When blood flow improves, you don't just feel stronger, you feel more capable, you feel more present, you feel more connected to the person you love. There's a quiet confidence that returns when your body starts cooperating with you again. Moments that once brought anxiety begin to feel natural. You stop overthinking. You stop anticipating disappointment. Instead, you start leaning into experiences with more relaxation and more trust in yourself. And that shift in your inner world creates ripple effects in your relationship. Your partner feels your renewed attention. They sense the calm in your energy. They feel the difference in the way you touch them, speak to them, and show up without hesitation. This is why something as simple as adding beetroot powder to your water can be so transformative. It's not about creating instant results or chasing unrealistic expectations. It's about supporting your body in a natural way that aligns with how it already works. When you take that step, you're not just improving circulation, you're sending a message to yourself that you're not done growing, loving, or showing up fully. You're choosing vitality over resignation. You're choosing connection over distance. You're choosing to be a man who takes responsibility for his well being, his energy, and his presence in his relationship. So many men silently accept decline because they don't know there's another option. They don't realize that this one simple addition can help them feel awake again. They don't realize that nitric oxide is tied to mood, stamina, and emotional regulation. When your circulation improves, your mind sharpens, your stress levels drop, your patience grows, you communicate more clearly, you listen more deeply. These emotional changes matter just as much as the physical ones. A relationship thrives when a man feels strong enough to stay open and steady. When you feel good inside, you give more of yourself without feeling drained or pressured. And this isn't about trying to impress anyone. It's about being aligned with the man you know you are, a man who values closeness, a man who wants to give his partner affection without fear, a man who wants to feel proud of how he shows up, not only in private moments, but in the everyday moments where connection is built. Taking care of your nitric oxide levels is one of the simplest, most effective ways to support that version of yourself. You're not adding beetroot powder because you're broken. You're adding it because your body deserves what helps it function at its best. When you drink that glass each day, you're making a quiet promise to your future self, one that says, I'm not giving in. I'm investing in my energy, my confidence, and my relationship. That promise becomes a habit. That habit becomes strength. And that strength becomes the foundation for deeper intimacy, deeper trust, and a deeper sense of being fully alive again. When circulation begins to improve and your body starts responding with more strength, something powerful happens inside you that goes far beyond the physical. You begin to feel a sense of certainty that has been missing for years. Not the loud, forceful kind of confidence, but the steady, grounded kind that makes you feel calm in your own skin. This shift affects how you move, how you breathe, and how you relate to the person you love. It creates a kind of emotional stability that many men don't realize they've been craving. When your body feels capable again, your mind stops racing with doubts, and your heart opens in ways you may not have expected. Intimacy stops feeling like a test and begins to feel like a natural extension of your connection. Many men don't understand how deeply nitric oxide is tied to that emotional closeness. It supports blood flow, yes, but it also supports the ability to stay relaxed, present, and connected in intimate moments. When the body struggles, the mind becomes tense. That tension builds pressure, and pressure builds anxiety. And the more anxiety you feel, the harder it becomes to engage, to enjoy, or even to initiate. What looks like a physical challenge often starts as an emotional one. You begin to avoid closeness not because you don't want it, but because you fear the possibility of disappointment. This fear creates distance, and that distance slowly erodes confidence. But when nitric oxide levels rise and your circulation strengthens, the fear begins to fade. You start trusting your body again. That trust creates emotional freedom. Instead of worrying, you feel present. Instead of hesitating, you feel willing. Instead of pulling away, you lean in. This presence is what your partner feels most. They don't just notice the physical changes, they feel the energy behind them. They feel your attention. They feel your warmth. They feel your desire expressed with confidence instead of uncertainty. And that shift can revive a relationship in ways most men never imagine. Intimacy is never just physical. It's emotional closeness expressed through the body. When you feel strong inside, your gestures become more intentional. Your touch becomes more connected. Your communication becomes clearer. You look your partner in the eyes more often. You listen without defensiveness. You show affection without fear of expectation. These small, subtle shifts are what rebuild passion. They restore trust. They create the safety and attraction that keep a relationship vibrant. Your partner does not want perfection from you. They want presence. They want to feel chosen. They want to feel your effort, not through grand gestures, but through the everyday signals that tell them you are still invested, still attentive, still emotionally available. Supporting your nitric oxide levels isn't just about circulation. It's about creating the internal conditions that allow you to show up as the partner you want to be. When your body and mind align, everything becomes easier. Conversations flow more naturally, conflicts soften more quickly. Moments of affection feel less forced and more spontaneous. And the beauty is that this kind of transformation doesn't rely on luck or guesswork. It's a direct response to giving your body what it needs to function the way it was designed to. When blood flow improves, the heart feels lighter. When the heart feels lighter, connection becomes deeper. This is why so many men experience a sense of renewal when they begin supporting their nitric oxide levels. They don't just feel better physically, they feel emotionally awake again. You are not meant to lose connection as you age. You are meant to grow into a deeper, more meaningful form of intimacy that comes from confidence, presence, and emotional stability. Your body plays a huge role in making that possible. When you take steps that support your circulation, you are taking steps that support your relationship. And when you support your relationship, you create joy not only for your partner, but for yourself. This is how you reclaim closeness, passion, and the feeling of being truly alive in your connection once more. When you commit to supporting your body in the right way, the change isn't subtle. It starts in small shifts that grow rapidly, reshaping how you feel, think, and connect. Adding a natural nitric oxide booster to your daily routine becomes more than a health habit. It becomes a statement to yourself. It says, I value my strength. I value my energy. I value my ability to be present for the person I love. Each day you make this choice, you reinforce a sense of control and self-respect that aging can often make feel out of reach. That control doesn't just affect how you perform physically, it shapes how you show up emotionally, mentally, and relationally. When your body functions well, your mind becomes calmer, your thoughts clearer, and your patience stronger. The tension that once crept into your relationship softens, leaving room for connection and closeness. Every man over 50 knows the frustration of trying and failing over and over to feel the way he remembers feeling in his prime. You've tried exercise, diets, supplements, and routines that promised more energy, only to feel disappointment. That disappointment is heavy, and it lingers. It affects how you communicate, how you respond, how you engage. It can make you retreat silently, withdrawing from the very relationships that need your presence most. But when you address the physiological root, supporting nitric oxide, something shifts. You feel more capable, more resilient, and more willing to take action instead of retreating. You begin to reclaim your confidence and your self-assurance, and that internal shift transforms the dynamic between you and your partner. The way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way you express care, all of it becomes more natural, more powerful, and more genuine. Consistency is where transformation takes hold. One glass of water with a nitric oxide booster might feel small, but repeated daily, it signals to your body that it can operate at a higher level again. The effects accumulate quietly yet profoundly. Your energy stabilizes, your endurance improves, and your mood steadies. More importantly, you start to notice emotional changes. Anxiety about intimacy begins to fade. Pressure to perform disappears. Hesitation turns into willingness. You find yourself stepping into moments you might have avoided before, not out of obligation, but because you genuinely feel capable. That presence is magnetic. It radiates into every interaction, deepening trust, increasing attraction, and restoring a sense of safety in your relationship. You feel less like you are trying to prove yourself and more like you are showing up as the man you are meant to be. The ripple effect of this choice extends far beyond the bedroom. Your partner notices subtle changes, the ease in your conversation, the confidence in your posture, the warmth in your touch. They feel the difference without needing to label it. That emotional resonance restores connection, and that connection fuels passion, intimacy, and shared joy. You become a partner who is present, capable, and emotionally available. And that presence transforms the quality of your relationship from routine to vibrant. You are no longer simply getting by. You are actively thriving, cultivating an energy that inspires closeness and admiration. This daily commitment is a quiet form of courage. It is a conscious act that says you refuse to accept decline as inevitable. You choose vitality, presence, and intimacy over passivity. You choose to invest in yourself and your relationship in a way that is tangible, repeatable, and deeply impactful. The small act of supporting your circulation builds momentum, reinforcing habits that extend into all areas of your life. Physical strength, emotional clarity, and relational connection become intertwined. Every time you make this choice, you reinforce a pattern of resilience, confidence, and intimacy that grows stronger over time. This is the path back to feeling alive, capable, and fully present. The path to becoming the man your body and your relationship deserve. Every choice you make today sends a signal to your body, your mind, and your relationship. When you consistently support your circulation and nitric oxide levels, you aren't just improving blood flow, you are reclaiming control over the way you feel, the way you move, and the way you connect. This creates a foundation that strengthens everything about you, from energy to emotional presence. You begin to notice that small irritations don't hit as hard. Stress doesn't linger as long. You feel a steadiness in your body that allows your mind to think clearly and respond with patience. When you feel this internal alignment, it translates into your interactions. Conversations with your partner feel lighter, affection comes more naturally, intimacy stops feeling like a test and starts feeling like an exchange of connection and trust. That is the power of nurturing your body in the right way. Most men underestimate how much physical health drives emotional availability. When your body struggles with poor circulation, your nervous system reacts. Anxiety rises, stress accumulates, your mind begins to preemptively protect you from failure, and suddenly you are holding back in moments that matter most. Your partner senses this hesitancy, even if you are unaware of it. They feel your withdrawal, your tension, and the subtle messages that say, I am not fully here. This dynamic quietly erodes intimacy and trust over time, leaving both of you frustrated, disconnected, and longing for the closeness that feels harder to achieve. But the truth is, this doesn't have to be permanent. The same system that created the distance can create the connection again when supported properly. When you choose to support nitric oxide production, you open the door to emotional freedom. You begin to trust your body to respond in ways that reinforce your confidence. That confidence is magnetic. It affects posture, energy, and presence in ways your partner can feel without words. You begin to approach interactions from a place of calm strength rather than anxious anticipation. You listen more, engage more, and express affection more freely. Moments of intimacy are no longer shadowed by hesitation or worry. They become opportunities to reconnect, to remind yourself and your partner why the bond you share is vital and worth protecting. This alignment between physical capability and emotional availability is what restores passion and trust. Consistency transforms these moments into habits that build momentum in every area of your life. Every time you take a step to support your circulation, you are reinforcing a cycle of vitality, self-respect, and emotional openness. Each day strengthens the bridge between your physical presence and your relational presence. Your energy becomes more predictable, your emotional regulation more reliable, and your sense of self more grounded. This isn't about perfection or grand gestures. It is about repeated, intentional actions that create measurable change. The small act of supporting nitric oxide levels quietly rewires your confidence, resilience, and relational engagement over time. Your partner notices the difference before you even speak. They sense the steadiness in your gaze, the warmth in your touch, and the presence that radiates without effort. That awareness builds trust and encourages them to mirror your engagement, creating a feedback loop that deepens intimacy and mutual respect. Your efforts to support your body are not solitary. They ripple through your relationship, enhancing connection, communication, and closeness in ways you may have thought were lost. This is your opportunity to step fully into the version of yourself that feels alive, capable, and present. To take ownership of your energy, your confidence, and your relational impact. Every glass of water you enhance, every intentional choice you make, reinforces a life where strength, vitality, and emotional connection are not just memories, they are your reality. You are capable of being the partner who is steady, responsive, and fully engaged. You are capable of reclaiming intimacy, trust, and closeness. This choice is yours to make, and the results extend far beyond the physical, reshaping every connection and every moment you share with the people who matter most.